Hey divas and gents, I'm coming to you with the Dangle wire wrap tutorial. I had quite a few of you ask me and then also send me private messages to do this tutorial. So, okay, bear with me because I normally try to not do tutorials because I'm not a professional. And for those of you that do an amazing job at doing them, hats off to you. So just bear with me. I'm going to do my best to show you and tell you of my techniques, my style that I also incorporate to, it's not like I invented this idea, but there's added things that I do differently than other jewelry makers. So let's just go ahead and dive in. Okay, the tools that you need are definitely the round nose. Okay, let's get this to focus. And you always know that one barrel is bigger than the other barrel. Flush cutters. These can all be purchased at Michael's. And then these are your needle nose. So you'll see that it gets pointy in the beginning. There are no rough edges. You don't want to get the ones that have the rough edges. It'll scratch up your wire. So you want to keep it flat. Okay? There are wire cutters in here, but they're nowhere near as good as the flush cutters. Okay? Those, and then artistic wire. There are other wires. I'm not going to say there isn't, but this one is the untarnishing one. The one that's right here, tarnish resistant. So this is the one I use. I use 20 gauge for all my wire wrapping. And I used this, it's the shiny silver. This is the one that I purchased from LA. And then this weekend, we went for my friend Tammy's birthday. All of us crafty family, we got together to the winery. That tends to be the spot we go to for our gatherings. So when we go, you know, we always have to make a stop to downtown because it's literally 15 minutes from the winery. So Marissa and I made a bolt over there before the party started. And this is also, it's a 20 gauge. It's $10. And I don't know. I don't understand. I'm not good with this stuff when it's measurements, but it's a lot. So I wanted to try the black. Now my skepticism on getting black is that it scratches, or maybe if you wire up and you do it too tight, maybe it'll crack off. Because some head pins, you'll see they do that. You can see it, like the polish of it will crack off. So I was really skeptic on getting this, but I really wanted to give it a try, and I'm going to show you the negative and positive about using this because I did make a ring, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so they do have different colored wires. So the darker ones, you always know metal it doesn't naturally come in this form, so it's going to be polished on. So you got to be real careful because when you cut it, the inside of the true color of the metal is going to show, and I'm going to show you right now. So I did this one right here. It's black, and then it has like this, it's like a gold foil bead. And let's see. Okay, so it came out nice. The only problem, let's see if you can see right here, if it'll focus, is that, oh no. See, that's what's tough too, is I don't have like an amazing camera, so like for like serious like up closes, but you'll see that the copper color showed through. So when you cut it, you're going to see that it's not black inside. And if you're okay with that, then that's perfect. But when I had to squish down the end piece, I used the needle nose, but it still scratched a little bit on top of it's really easily scratched. So you could see the only shiny part of the ring right there, that's the inside of the black. But if you don't care about that, and honestly on these dangles, you don't see it. And there was no scratching anywhere else. It wire wrapped, it did not crack at all. It was only when metal touched it to apply, you know, to close off, because you need to make sure the coils are tight right here. So sometimes you have to get your needle nose and then squish them together. You don't want gaps in between your coils. But it looks really pretty. I don't have an issue with it. But for those of you that may be a little more, you know, picky about it, then you might have an issue with using colored metal like this. I don't have a problem with it. But it turned out really gorgeous. Black wire and then with gold. So for this one, okay, this turned out to be a 6.5. Now I'm getting the mandrel. I would suggest trying to get one that doesn't have this groove right here. This was intended for wire wrapping as well, so you could do your beads and stuff like that. But I tend to wire wrap, and you're going to see right now I go like this because I need to see up here when I'm doing the wrapping. And then what happens is this part right here kind of goes in like this because it's opened in here. It's not flush. So I have to turn it this way because this is the way you're supposed to do it. But I can't do it this way. I need to see the numbers and the measurements. So there's other mandrels. I mean, I work with it. It's not a deal breaker for me. So this is the one I made. I made one with pearls. So this is a baby blue with silver wire. And you see how the coils are tight. So you want to keep them tight and really close to the nesting on the top part. You want to make sure it's close to that, not so far off. Okay. So it looks really pretty on. It has 10 of them. And I'm going to show you how you're going to know how many dangles to make. I did this one right here. This right here is not round and it's not, let me show you these beads right here. These beads are kind of like discs shape from Hobby Lobby. But they're such a pretty blue, and I wanted to trim so you see how it's kind of the shape of it. I love it. It's unique. Okay, another one right here. This is how this one looks. So it just dangles. So I believe I put 11 dangles on this one. Okay, this one is an absolute favorite. I mixed it. So I did a pastel pink, pastel blue, pastel green, and then this is a really pretty, really light yellow that's a clear yellow with AB on it. And you notice that I did 2 bigger ones and the rest were smaller. So you can incorporate different pearls with crystals, bigger pearl 5mm, 4mm, 3mm. It doesn't all have to be the same size. So this is where you just get to have fun and then create it how you like it. And I absolutely love it. Okay, so we are going to do this color bead. It's like a really, really pretty light brown color. It's in the brown family. And I did 2 different sizes, okay? So let's see, let me get this up really quick. Oh gosh, all right, I'll quickly do this. Now, I measured my wire 2 times this size right here, is how I did it. So from this top part, not the barrel part down here, but from here to the top, I grabbed 1 and then 2. And that's how I measured the length for me to do my wire wrapping and the ring, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna get your round nose. You're gonna get point to point right here. Don't bend it. And get to the middle part right here and just kind of bend it just a little, just like that. Okay, don't super bend it. And that's where you're gonna know you're gonna stick this. I stick mine to the bottom of the barrel and then you wire wrap it this way. Okay. So it's going at the bottom. That's going to tell you, if you don't want it to be that big, then you'll have less dangles to make. The bigger it is, the more dangles you're going to need, you know, you're going to want. And then you can do different sizes that way. Okay? So this is how it should look. It's a perfect circle because it's done on the needle nose. All right? Then we're going to take this to a 7. Okay, and this is where you're going to wrap it. 1 up, 1 down. Okay, so you're going to see it like this. Oops, sorry. It's harder because the wire's long. And then you're going to see that you will have, here, let me push this up first, because the circle part will flatten, and you need it to be straight up like that. Okay? Okay, so when you wrap it, you're going to have the 1 up, 1 down. 1 up, 1 down. Okay, and you just want to kind of keep it tight. And then we'll do one at a time. One more. And then hold this side. Because I need to wrap the bottom one as well. So if you're wrapping the top, you're wrapping the bottom. I'm going to show you right now. It's hard because the wire's going to keep hitting the camera. So see? This will always be in the middle. And your wrapping is going to be on the top, on the bottom, and then in the back. Okay, and don't worry if they're all separated right now, because when you start wrapping it, they're all going to come together. Okay. Now let's turn it this way. Well, actually, let's do it this way. It'll probably be easier if you see it on black. Okay. And then this is where the wrapping, the nesting around the loop goes. So this would normally be, picture this, your bead, for those that wire wrap. And then you get the top one, this one up here, and you're going to wrap it around this circle. And you're not going to be tight about it, okay? So you have one. Now you're going to get the other side, and you're going to wire wrap it the other way. Okay? So you're going to do this based on how many you do. Now, I wire wrap it until I feel I like the way the nesting looks. And you don't want the nest to be too tall because you remember you need your dangles. Okay. So that's how that looks. And then you need to make sure you have enough this left over. You don't want to go too tight because we're going to wrap again. So I did 3 wraps. Okay. So we're going to take the mandrel out. We're going to hold this side, and this wire that's up top, you're going to take it this way and you're going to start looping it through the ring. And you're going to want to make, so sorry, the loop close. Make sure you push it closer to the nesting and pull. And I kind of have to do this off camera a little bit. Okay, and then you're going to, I do it 3 times on the side because I don't like too many coils. Oh, I should have put lotion on because it makes it harder to pull the wire. Not to mention it's a little hot today. And you're going to see right here, the coils are kind of separate from each other. And you're going to squeeze them together. See, this part right here you can't do on the black, because if you do it on the black, it'll scratch it up. So you see right here how it's looking. Okay, so this will be my last one, my 3rd one. Grab my needle nose and pull it through because the wire is getting a little short, so it's harder to grab. And then this one does not go through again, and I cut it up top of the ring. That's my waist, which isn't bad. And then you're going to see that there is a little pointy part, okay? So I get my flesh cutters because that's too much. You don't want it to get close to the finger where you're going to slide it on and cut it off. And then we need to flatten it. Okay. Sorry everybody that the camera doesn't zoom in is easy for up close, but you'll see that it's flush like that. Now we're going to do the other side, and you're just going to hold on this side. You're always holding on the side, not in the middle. And now you see the ring part is up here, so you're going to wrap it over and under the whole ring. Okay, make sure it's close to the nest. And then we're going to continue doing this 3 times. I put lotion on my fingers so my hands wouldn't look so ashy on camera. Not thinking that, yeah, that's going to be a little tough to wire wrap. Okay, so you can easily use these. Remember, do not use the kind that have the ridges on the inside of your pliers. Okay, so here you go. There's your coils. I need to go back and tighten this up a little bit. It's a little loose. And remember, we're going to cut off on the top part of the ring. Okay. And then you see it's standing up because we need to flatten it down. And it sticks over too much, so you gotta cut a little bit more. It's always better to cut not enough than too much, because you need to make sure that it lands on top and not on the sides. You don't want to cut it too short, because then it'll rub on the person's fingers. Okay, there we go. And then you see that the ring looks a little bent because of holding on tightly to it. Don't worry, we'll just put it back on the mandrel, and then we're just going to go ahead and close it in. Oops. Okay. And close it in like that. So this one came out to be a 6.5 size. And then that's how it looks at the top. This is going to bend a little. Don't be worried. Just bend it back up, because you wire wrap around it, so there's a nesting on it. You do not need the nesting to be too much like you would normally do on a regular wire wrap ring, because you need space for the dangles. So 3 times I would think is enough, but it's absolutely your choice. I already pre-wrapped most of them so that we don't keep this video going for 1,000 hours. I'm probably going to use all 8 minutes, but I did leave a couple open so that I can show you how I do them. Okay, so when you buy these head pins, and these are the ones that are flat, eye pins are the ones that have a circle. So like the shape of an eye is how you would remember. That's an eye pin. This is a head pin. You want to make sure when you buy these, I always look at the bottom of the bags to make sure that this little flat part is kind of big. They sell a lot of them that are really tiny, and the beads will flush right through, and I'll have to put like a daisy spacer or something to stop the bead, and I don't always want to do that. So keep that in mind when you're doing them. Okay, so I'll slide on my bead. Okay. My rule of thumb on how to cut, because I always do this, I'm always holding my bead like this on my wire when I cut it. And I always cut it right above my finger. So you see how I do that? That's how I measure it for me, okay? So then I cut it. Then I get my round nose, grab it by the top. I have to look on the side of the camera because I can't see as clear. Okay, and then I hold it right here with your thumb, and you're gonna see how I'm turning it against my thumb. That's how you're going to do it. So let's see if I can get that to show. So and this is where you're going to go all the way through. Then you keep your needle nose in there. See, it's not out. And you go backwards. And you take it to the very tip. Not down here, because that's where you wrapped it. And do it right here. And now you're going to bend it this way. You're going to bend the whole thing this way because you want it to look like this. And it's perfect every time. Leave a gap. So do all your dangles first. Leave that little gap. You don't want to keep it closed yet because we need to put these on the actual ring. Okay? So let me go ahead and do another one. Put it through. See, it's flush on there. I'm going to take it right above my finger. Cut. Then we take the needle nose and we take it to the top. I always kind of take mine not all the way halfway down the barrel, but like a third of the way down the barrel, because that's the size I like the top part to be. So, and you want, never take it out, hold it here, and then just go back the other way. Kind of like it's a question mark, okay? And do you see how close I have it to the bottom? You need it to be that close. You don't want your loop to be too high up, because you see it's perfect right here. If you do the loop too high up and you have all this space, it's not going to look as good on your dangle ring when you have too much space for the bead to move. Okay, so that's all the dangles. Now let's start putting them on. All right, so all I do with these is I bend it out a little bit, and you're going to bend it out this way. Don't pull it open. You're going to bend it towards you or bend it away from you, but do not pull like directly straight out. Don't do that, because then you ruin your whole shape of your circle. Okay, and you just loop it on there. And that is how you do all of them. Now it's up to you if you're going to close it like this. That's how I close it. Or you can close it like this. Close like this, but it's hard because since there's no ridges, the pliers will fall, you know, it slides off. So I always just hold on to the part. Sorry, the camera's not focusing as well. Okay, and then I had lotion under my nails. It's not food, I promise. And then you just push it close to that. So you're just bending the metal closer to that so it stays all the way around. Some people do the wire wrapping. It's not necessary to do wire wrapping on these, only because these are not going to fall off. As long as you use a good wire that's not too bendable. If you notice that you buy your head pins and it bends like really easy, like you feel like the metal is super soft, then don't use that, because that's really meant for wire wrapping your beads. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm doing it off camera. So I'm just bending it closer to there. So I'm doing small, big. Sorry, I just had my legs crossed and the legs are falling asleep. Okay, and then I'm going to open up the bead. Oh, doggone it, I wasn't on the camera. Okay, I really didn't want to have to do this again, because prepping these rings in advance, yeah, it takes forever. Okay, so we're going to do another big one. And so you see so far I only have like 3 minutes. I have 3 dangles on there so far. And then I'm going to hook it on. So that's all you're going to do is hook them on. Hoping I can finish this in 3 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. So you can see the finished ring, but you'll have the general idea. I should have probably done another ring so you could see it, but I kind of wanted to do this. It takes a little bit of time, you know. This is definitely not, you know, I can't tell you it's a beginner type of thing, because it's not. It takes so much practice to learn how to do this. I've been trying to do this for a while, for years, and I do it, and then, you know, you go through wasting wire. It is what it is. So see, so far here's where it's at. Let's see how much space we have left. So you're just going to do it to as much as you see that for as full as you want it, you know. If you want, I do it until I can't stick one more on. That's how I know when I'm going to stop. So it's kind of hard to see, to tell you, oh, you only need 10 dangles, because it really depends on the size barrel you do in the beginning. Is what's going to determine, you know, if you have a bigger loop, then you're going to need more dangles. So that's, and as you get closer, it gets a little tougher to get the dangle in, because now you only have a little bit of space to work with. And you got to get your needle nose in there. Mind you, I have to look on the side of the camera because I can't see as good on the camera. And that's all it is. So you're just doing the same thing. So here's where we're at so far. And I still have 3 dangles to go. And remember, mix the dangles up. You know, you could use big, small, and I have to open this up more. I'm not going to be able to finish this before the end of the video. So sorry, ladies, because I literally have like 1 minute. And I can't move quick enough and then show you on camera unless I, you know, have 1 minute, 5 seconds. But it's going to be so cute because I can tell it's going to be super extra fluffy. And I'm not going to be able to do this on camera because I can't see as well. And then show you guys at the same time. So it'll look like this when it's done. I have 2 more dangles left to put on here. But that is how you do it. And you see how it looks neat underneath it? That's how you want it to look. Okay. And don't mind if these 4 right here, excuse my hands, I do work out in the yard a lot, so I kind of have man hands underneath. See how it's 4 across? Sometimes one will be crossed over when you're tightening over here. It'll come bunched up. Don't be alarmed and don't feel that it's a bad thing. You just take these right here, and where it bends, just kind of do this, okay? and it'll bend out whatever little kinks you may have, and it'll be perfectly fine. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you learned something. See you guys later. Bye. 1 second.